In school, you are done and moving up to
Yes. Act 2.
and one is not.
No. Little bit.
Scene 1 is of Prince of Morocco.
And scene of Landlord and Lord.
वो नहीं समझा वो उसमें उनका टाइम पर बातें चल रही है हाँ आईडी फैमिली फुल ऑफ हिज फादर हाँ वो स्टार्टिंग में वही सेंसलेस हो
And Landlord wants to
हाँ लॉन्ग कॉल तो वही बात है उनका स्टार्टिंग में he makes a fool of him, he's lying, half lying. Well, there is no Our party is also not there today. How come? Three. Parth is there. Parth, put your video on. Here, what is this? Yeah, why only one camera is coming? You can see. Good evening, Parth.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, get your treasure trove. You're doing after Blenheim. Okay. Your textbook. Okay, so after Blenheim, what is it about? It is mainly about the futility of war. What is the meaning of futility? Huh? About futility. It is an aftermath, but futility means wastefulness. Is it of any use? Now the war going on between Ukraine and Russia. What is happening? Ukrainians are also getting affected. Russians are also getting affected. So कोई भी side अगर जीतता है, right? Whichever side is victorious, is it worth fighting or even is it worth winning? नहीं ना, ऐसा victory किस काम है? So this poem is mainly about the futility of war, about the wastefulness of war. So on the top you could write down, it is a powerful anti-war poem. Ranveer, you can write somewhere in your notebook. तेरे पास textbook नहीं है ना? बाद में के लिए क्यों रुकना है? अभी लिखना. Then you'll copy from someone. You'll be dependent on someone else. So it is a powerful anti-war poem. Okay, that stresses upon the add over here that stresses upon the atrocities. When we say you're not writing, you care about your chapter and futility of war. Atrocities means what? All the wrongdoings that happen in war, all the injustice that is meted out in war. Yeah, come. Can you repeat my atrocities? Atrocities are the injustice that is meted out to people. Injustice meted out. What is meted? The injustice that happens with people. To people. So I'll read this paragraph on the left-hand side, the intro. Robert Southey was an English romantic poet. He was the poet laureate or the court poet of his time. He wrote this poem in 1796 about a battle that took place in Blenheim, a village in South Germany, in 1704. When did the war take place? In 1704. About the battle that took place at Blenheim. It is an anti-war poem that sharply criticizes the destruction and death caused by war. The poet uses the simple narrative of a grandfather explaining to his two grandchildren his own suffering and the suffering of many others like him who were victims of the battle. The grandfather cannot give any good reason for war and can only repeat that it was a famous victory. What else can he say? Nowhere in the poem will you see him happy about it or saying that yes, we are all so excited that we won. So all that he is able to say is that yes, it was a famous victory. Obviously, this was the propaganda that was indoctrinated in the common people. Indoctrinated means that's what you are made to think. And very often it happens that there are some, the political scenario is such, okay, you see things happening. So you are made to think. The scene created is such that you are made to believe something which may not actually be factual. The poet wants to emphasize through the repetition of the lines that wars are senseless, futile, and evil, and that in war there are no real winners. Now in this war was like between England and France, and it was France that lost. They won. Okay, Europe won. But then still, there's nothing exciting about winning because of the immense destruction that has taken place. People have died, the families have died, they've got displaced. So there are no real winners. This is a powerful poem that echoes Wilfred Owen's famous quote, "The pity of war." It's a pitiful situation, no? How do you feel? Even if, like say, between Ukraine and Russia, it's Russia that's stronger and victorious. Is there anything that you feel happy about it? No, because at the back of your mind, you can see those people dying, moving, the mothers losing their children, fathers separating. You remember those scenes they had shown where the children are being sent in the beginning, in the Ukraine war. The fathers were there to fight the war, whereas the children and the women were sent off. So there were scenes where the child, they're hugging their father, the father's also crying. So in what way is that good, right? So this poem is a wake-up call to seek peaceful solutions to all conflicts. So although this poem is of 1704 war, which he wrote in which year? 1796, centuries ago, but then still the situation, the mindset remains the same.
Injustice, what your injustice?
Meted out. Injustice given, you can say. That takes place. Okay, so we'll read the poem after Blenheim. It was a summer. First, I'll read the entire poem so you get an understanding. In school, you'll have done this?
No, it's not.
It will be there in the notes. So I'll anyways read the entire poem to just try to understand some words here and there you may not, but overall you'll be able to at least get some gist of it. So it was a summer evening. Old Casper's work was done, and he before his cottage door was sitting in the sun, and by him sported on the green his little grandchild Wilhelmine. She saw her brother Peterkin roll something large and round, which he beside the rivulet in playing there had found. He came to ask what he had found that was so large and smooth and round. Old Casper took it from the boy, who stood expectant by. And then the old man shook his head, and with a natural sigh, "'Tis some poor fellow's skull," said he, "who fell in the great victory. I find them in the garden, for there's many about here about, and often when I go to plough, the ploughshare turns them out. For many thousand men," said he, "were slain in that great victory. Now tell us what 'twas all about." Young Peterkin, he cries, and little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. Now tell us all about the war and what they fought each other for. It was the English, Casper cried, who put the French to rout. But what they fought each other for, I could not well make out. But everybody said, quoth he, that was a famous victory. My father lived at Blenheim then, yon little stream hard by. They burnt his dwelling to the ground, and he was forced to fly. So with his wife and child he fled, nor had he where to rest his head. With fire and sword the country round was wasted far and wide, and many a chiding mother then and newborn baby died. But things like that, you know, must be at every famous victory. What happened? Keep it down on your desk. Then, third page. They say it was a shocking sight after the field was won, for many thousand bodies here lay rotting in the sun. But things like that, you know, must be after a famous victory. Great praise the Duke of Marlborough won, and our good Prince Eugene. Why, 'twas a very wicked thing, said little Wilhelmine. Nay, nay, my little girl, quoth he, it was a famous victory. And everybody praised the Duke, who this great fight did win. But what good came of it at last? Quoth little Peterkin. Why? That I cannot tell, said he, but it was a famous victory. So what is it? All the time, repeatedly, you see the last lines almost everywhere.
Only new bits of English.
No, it's not that. See the third para, I'll tell you. See the third para. Who fell in the great victory? Great victory. Next page, last great victory. Again, leave one para next. That was a famous victory. Then again last at every famous victory. Again the next famous victory, famous victory, famous victory. So that's all that he's saying. It's not that he has half information. What is it? Dania Mystic, so she said half information. It's not that he has half information. It's because there's
You can't make out like what was the fight about, like why.
yes, and even if they have won, he doesn't feel happy about it because so many people have lost their lives. It's not that the country that wins is not affected, right? It's not that the bomb is not going to be shelled on them or their people are not going to die. He's speaking even about his childhood when he was in Blenheim with his parents, and the house that they were in was set on fire. So they had to flee, they had to run off from there. The father didn't have any other shelter. So they are from the winning country, but still they were affected. So there is this old Casper who's the grandfather, and he is with his two children. What are their names? Wilhelmine and Peterkin. Wilhelmine is the girl, the granddaughter, and Peterkin is the grandson. So what happens in the beginning? They're out, Peterkin is out and Peterkin finds something. And what is that something? Yes, that later is revealed that it's a skull. And then the grandfather talks about how that skull has come over here. Then he describes about the War of Blenheim. So it was a summer evening. Old Casper's work was done. Old Casper was a farmer, so he had finished doing his work. It was evening now. And he, before his cottage door, was sitting in the sun. So he was sitting in the evening sun. And by him, sported on the green. Sported means playing. Playing on the, yes. Playing on the green means the patch of green grass, like a small garden area that was there. And by him sported on the green, his little grandchild Wilhelmine. So who was there? Wilhelmine, the girl was playing here. It's evening time. He's finished with his work and he's sitting by the sun. He saw his brother Peterkin. She saw her brother Peterkin roll something large and round, which he beside the rivulet. Rivulet is stream. In playing there had found. So what are we saying now? That Peterkin was playing by the rivulet, by the river, by the stream, and he had found something large and round. क्या है वो? उसको क्या मिला है? स्कल मिला है, स्कल. तेरा कोई इंटरेस्ट दिख रहा नहीं, तो I thought you not understood what is happening. ध्यान दे. So what did he find? किसी का खोपड़ी. किसी का skull. So in playing there had found. So while playing, he happened to chance upon this skull there. He came to ask what he had found that was so large and smooth and round. He couldn't identify what it is. He was a small child. Old Casper took it from the boy. Old Casper is who? The grandfather. Took it from the boy, who stood expectant by. Expectant means he was eagerly waiting. Expectant means eagerly. He was eagerly waiting for a reply from the grandfather to know what he had found there. So, who stood expectant by, and then the old man shook his head and with a natural sigh. Sigh means he was feeling sad. Dukh ho raha tha, sigh. Or deep breath that we take. So shook his head and with a natural sigh, "'Tis some poor fellow's skull." So whose skull was it? That was a like a soldier's skull who would have been fighting in the war and had been killed there. Huh? "'Tis some poor fellow's skull," said he, "who fell in the great victory." Who fell means who died. In the great victory means what? The Battle of Blenheim, the 1704 war. "I find them in the garden, for there's many here about." Okay, so who's speaking now? The grandfather, he's continuing. What is he saying? "I find them in the garden, for there's many here about." There are many over here, like this. "And often when I go to plow," he's a farmer, so when he goes and digs, "the plowshare turns them out." That's the teeth of the plow. It gets removed from the ground by that plowshare. "For many thousand men," said he, "were slain in that great victory." Slain means killed. "Now tell us what 'twas all about, young Peterkin," he cries, and little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. Wonder-waiting means she is eager to know what he's going to tell. Yes, excited. Okay, more than excited, she is eager. Excitement would be something that you are happy to know. You would want to know something. So, yeah, she's curious. "Now tell us about the war and what they fought each other for." So who's asking this? Peterkin is asking. Wilhelmine is looking up eagerly. It's a conversation between Peterkin and the grandfather, and Wilhelmine is also there. So it was the English, Caspar cried, who put the French to rout. Rout means they were defeated. The French. So the French were defeated. It was the English, Caspar cried, who put the French to rout. But what they fought each other for, I could not well make out. So here you see futility. What is he saying? That why they were fighting, I don't know. There was a war, I know, and the French were defeated. That's what I know. But I don't know why they were fighting. So I could not well make out. But everybody said, quoth he. Quoth means said. Quote, quoted or said. This you'll find in other places of the poem also. So, but everybody said, quoth he, that 'twas a famous victory. 'Twas means it was. So everybody, I don't know why it happened, but I know that it was a famous victory. Now he is telling his own story when he was a small child. "My father lived at Blenheim then. Yon little stream hard by." Yon is yonder, near. Okay, with a little stream hard by, nearby. So yonder, a little stream which was flowing nearby. "They burnt his dwelling to the ground." Dwelling means his house. They burnt his dwelling to the ground. Whose dwelling did they burn?
The father, his father.
His father's when he was a child. So they burnt his dwelling to the ground and he was forced to fly. Fly means run away, escape. And he was forced to fly. So with his wife and child, he fled. Fled again is to flee, run away. So with his wife and child, Parthvati, are you listening now?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. ऊपर क्या दिख रहा था? अच्छा, quoth he means what?
What?
Quoth he means what? Quoth he.
Can you repeat?
But everybody said quoth he.
आंसर लोड हो रहा है
Both means what? Boy?
आंसर लोड हो रहा है गूगल रिफ्रेश करने को टाइम लगता है
No, he's looking for the line. Did you get the line? It was the English Casper cry. Next page, second page, the second paragraph there, which starts with it was the English. Over there, the second last line. कर क्या रहा है इतना देर?
But everybody said coach he.
हाँ,
Said he.
yeah. Are you writing also the meanings?
Yes, ma'am.
Pencil बता हाथ में? Pen नहीं. Pen this is. You're writing with a pen in your text? लिखा भी की? नहीं. You wrote? It's okay. तू क्या ज्यादा बोलता है? तू खुद तो टेक्स्ट बुक भी नहीं लाया है.
मैं चलेगा मैं इस पे
हाँ, तो क्या हुआ? Okay, so now you write with a pencil in your textbook, huh? Not with a pen. So he says now, my father lived at Blenheim then, yon little stream hard by. They burnt his dwelling to the ground and he was forced to fly. So with his wife and child he fled, nor had he where to rest his head. Where to rest his head means he had no shelter, no home. He didn't know where to go. Huh? No place to live. Then, with fire and sword, the country round. Fire and sword means there was burning and killing happening. In the war, that's what's going to happen. So, burning and killing happening. With fire and sword, the country round was wasted far and wide. Was wasted means ruined, destruction. Okay, there was destruction far and wide. And many a chiding mother then. Chiding is a pregnant mother, an expectant mother. And newborn baby died. Right? So there were many mothers who were expecting their children. There were many newborn babies. They all died. But things like that, must be at every famous victory. So what did he speak about now? Did he speak about something good or did he speak about something sad? So he said, this is what happened. So he's not saying that it was something sad, but he's just narrating it. So, but what is the impression? Are you feeling happy listening to this? No. But then still he's saying, yeah, this is what happened. But then normally they say this is what happens in any victory. Then they say it was a shocking sight after the field was won. After the field was won means the aftermath of the war. The aftermath. Aftermath means after the war has ended. So they say it was a shocking sight after the field was won. For many thousand bodies here lay rotting in the sun, which means they didn't even get a decent burial. They just lay there rotting in the sun. But things like that, must be after a famous victory. So there are lives that people that were killed. There were pregnant mothers that died. There were babies, newborn babies that died. And dead bodies which lay rotting in the sun. But I think that's normally what happens after a famous victory. Great praise, the Duke of Marlborough won. Duke of Marlborough was the English commander. They won because the English won here. And our good Prince Eugene, okay, he was the military commander. Prince Eugene was the military commander from Austria. So great praise the Duke of Marlborough won and our good Prince Eugene. Why? It was a very wicked thing, said little Wilhelmine. Now Wilhelmine is a small child and she's listening to all this. So even she's saying why that was a wicked thing. So when he spoke about the Duke being successful, she didn't say, oh wow, that's great. Right? She still said that that was a very wicked thing, that was very mean. Said little Wilhelmine. Nay, nay, my little girl, quoth he, it was a famous victory. And everybody praised the Duke, who this great fight did win. The Duke won. But what good came of it at last? Quoth little Peterkin. Who asked now? What good came? Peterkin. So he's asking, but what good came of it at last? Quoth little Peterkin. By that I cannot tell, said he, but was a famous victory. Understood? Yes. Write down the figures of speech.
You can
Starting, yeah, you can mark it in your text. Rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme. Try finding out what is a rhyme scheme. पता कर? हाँ, so last time अभी तू मत बोल, you don't know because last time also you had said Abba Baba and I had explained it to you. Now don't tell me you don't know the meaning.
A B C D D D.
A B C B D D. Correct.
A B C D A B C D D D.
हाँ. A B C D D D. Okay, so means you have the second and the fourth line which are rhyming, and fifth and sixth line are rhyming, and the other two are different. See, evening, done, and sun. See second and fourth everywhere. First only we will see the second and the fourth. Okay. So second, done, sun. Next para, round, found. Next para, by, side. Correct?
Yes.
Next para, about, out. After that, cries, eyes. Like that you have it in the entire poem. Yes. Okay. Then ballet story. Then here, second last and last lines. First para. Green Wilhelmine. तुम लोग दोनों ही without textbook बैठे. And you are seeing also. ऐसा बैठे and seems like you don't have it. You're not even looking. You're not marking. Pencil है क्या हाथ में? Pen है. I just told him also. ये ले. So, green Wilhelmine, found round. He victory. Again he victory. War for. Okay. So again these two are rhyming. And first and third are totally different. So evening, door. They are not rhyming with anything else. Next one is Peterkin rivulet. Next one is boy head. Then garden cloud. They don't rhyme with anything. About up. So this. Now figures of speech. See your that line. The first para, second last line. Sporting on the green. So that you write as metonymy. So you underline that line. Circle green. Second last line. And by him sported on the green. Phrase used. Nine. Second beginning. First, I'm going in order from the beginning.
And by him spotted on the green.
Spotted on the green.
Word
Yes.
or phrase used to mean something closer to the green.
Yes. Yes.
No, this is fold within.
In cold within your lab. So this is green. Why?
It means grass now.
Yes. So grass, when we are saying spotted on the green, we mean on the grass. Then next line after that. His little grandchild Wilhelmine. Alliteration. L, L, L. So it will be L's. Next line. Immediately the next line.
There is nothing.
L. Alliteration. What is alliteration? Repetition of the sounds. Not starting. Repetition of those sounds.
Little grandchild.
Little grandchild Wilhelmine. Then then to the next page. Next page, first para there. Now tell us what it was all about. So TPP, alliteration. Tell us what it was all about. Alliteration. Then alliteration spelling. Then which one I told you? Tell us what. Over there only same para, leave 2 lines and the next line. With wonder waiting eyes. So with wonder waiting, WWW. Again, that's an alliteration. With wonder waiting. That I didn't even come to. Third line, next, last page, the third line. For many thousand bodies here. That's hyperbole. For many thousand bodies here. What is that? Hyperbole. Yes. It's what is hyperbole and exaggeration. Third line, last page. For many thousand bodies here. This is an exaggeration. Okay. Hyperbole, then and क्या बोली? Hyperbole. Okay. Then the last line there, but it was a very famous victory. So wherever they have written famous victory, great victory, that is irony. Okay, irony. Wherever they have written famous victory, great victory. What is irony? Words that convey opposite of the literal meaning. Now here it says famous victory, but the actual meaning is not famous. So it is an irony. But Bhatia, understood? Any doubts? Give it back to me, no? I was using. You go check pencil की जरूरत नहीं पहले भी नहीं लिया Okay, got the poem. Now once all will read together. All together. And then again, while reading, if you all come across something कि मुझको थोड़ा doubt है, at the end again, be clear. काय करायचं आता? आहे ना? तू आपल्या बघण्यात आपल्याला आता काय करायचं आहे? रीड करायचं. रीड करायचं. नाही. Okay. Start together. It was a summer evening. Old Casper's work was done, and before his cottage door was sitting in the sun, and by his border under the day, with little grandfather the young. She saw her something large and round. We see the sound of the river. And outside the ground, the ground shaped of the ground. For it was a stream that made it. Now the place was around. There are many size. And they we find eyes. Now tell us all about the war and what they fought for the war. As of pride, who was against the crowd, but what for the war, I could not let it out. Everybody said, watch me, that I can't stay this way. But they are willing to ready to the ground, and he was supposed to stand. It's hard for child it fired and sword the country round, was tasted far and wide, and many a child in mother bed, knew one baby died. But things like that you know, that everything they was victory. They checked on the soulful side after the it was one, for many thousand bodies here, they brought it in the sun. But things like that you know must be after a famous victory. Great praise the you of one Guru one, and great praise Eugene. While there was a very wicked king, said in it with that name. Many invited her forthwith, it was a famous victory. And everybody is a Jew, who is stay by the but all will be for better at last. All live with again. But I know the said name. But that was a famous victory. There appears suddenly some differently victory. Suddenly it became very musical and rhythmic over there.
I'm starting with this items.
Yeah, but then suddenly it was like
That's quite good. Anyway,
which video are you reading from?
yeah, this was like very
It has everything.
yeah, it has all.
What book?
हाँ,
दो ग्रीन कलर
बीच में है हाँ
अब ये करेंगे एक काम करते हैं we have 15 minutes. I'll show you that video, okay, the movie video, but I'll start from the beginning. हाँ तो थोड़ा वो 1 और 2 का 1 का रिविजन हो जाएगा and then हाँ MOV का वीडियो the movie I'm told to bring our last time I we had
mom can I have the next thing
Can I? What do you want to do?
If your
ICSE will switch off cable. But this is off, down or up?
It's
I'm
down.
confused.
Always down. Always down on the
But Bhatia, why weren't you reading with everyone?
I was reading in my mind.
What is in your mind? Just type over there. Merchant of Venice, 1973. HA. No, do 1973 full movie. Type over there only. There it's gone. इसको पहले I'll have to share back no now.
Yes.
इसका क्या करने का? Camera nothing no. What? This?
Screen share.
हाँ. And the screen share.
Basic.
Basic. Share sound.
Black and white.
Yeah, it's a 1973 movie. What do you expect? Color and Ranveer Kapoor and all that.
Yes.
What?
There's an option.
See what? Keep him on. We won't know what. Play. Make it big. There are subtitles also. So.
I'm in love with the cold.
There, where your Argus is with portly sail, like seniors and rich burghers on the flood. Or as it were, the pageants of the sea do overpeer the petty traffickers that courtesy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings.
पार्ट भाटिया वीडियो क्यों ऑफ किया?
हम पानी पीने के लिए जा रहा था.
पानी साइड में रख अपने पास. क्या? Yeah. I don't know what I will use. But I will see. No, now it's okay. देखते हैं, I'll see from somewhere else. Okay, see. Y'all can go to your this and see because it's almost the same conversation. भैया जी, हाँ? सुनेंगे वो और देखेंगे यहाँ simultaneously. हाँ?
Cold, cold. I got it for the long, 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 long.
Do the big thing, yeah. Act one. Venice. Yeah, where Antonio. I know you're sad. I know you're
I know not why I am so sad. It wearies me. You say it wearies you, but how I caught it, found it, or came by it, what stuff it is made of, whereof it is born, I am to
What's the
learn.
lead again? Yeah. I know not why I am so sad. No, stop wait for
What with sadness makes of me that I have much ado to know myself.
Your mind is tossing on the ocean. There, where your Argosies with portly sail, like seniors and rich burghers on the flood. Or as it were, the pageants of the sea, do overpeer the petty traffickers that curtsy to them, do them reverence as they fly by them with their woven wings.
Believe me, sir, had I such ventures,
समझ में आई है?
the better part of my affections would be with my hopes abroad. I should be still plucking the grass, to know where sits the wind. Peering in
Plucking the
maps
grass,
for
what is he
ports
saying?
and piers and
Plucking the grass, I should be plucking the grass. What is
They
he
try
saying?
to see the wind.
Yes, to see the direction of the wind. He's saying, I am sad. So he's saying you're sad because of your ships. You're worried about your ships. And if I also was there in your place, even I would have been worried. I would have been plucking grass and seeing the direction in which the wind is blowing. So I would know if my ships are safe or not.
roads, and every object that might make me fear misfortune to my ventures, out of doubt, would make me sad.
My wind cooling my broth would blow me to an ague, and I thought what harm a wind too great.
Wind cooling my broth means what?
So my
Soup. Ha. Means when I blow into my soup, it gets cold, nahi? That when that those ripples which come, huh? Those ripples which come when I blow my soup, that would make me think of my ships, thinking that they are going to be, there's a storm and they're going to be capsized. So everything would take me back to that worry that I would have. Huh? Yeah. He was older than everyone else.
Might do at sea. I should not see the sandy hourglass run, but I should think of shallows and of flats, and see my wealthy Andrew docked in sand, veiling her high top lower than her ribs to kiss her burial. Should I go to church and see the holy edifice of stone and not bethink me straight of
What is this
dangerous
holy
rocks?
edifice of stone, church, holy edifice of stones?
चर्च मध्ये दगड असतात
तर काय तिकडे?
हे बघूनच वाटतं की
Yes, those are dangerous rocks and they are going to
which might be very important.
So they are going to hit the my ships.
Watching with my gentle vessel's side would scatter all her spices on the stream, and robe the roaring waters with my silk, sent in a word, but even now worth this and now worth nothing. Shall I have the thought to think on this? And shall I lack the thought that such a thing perchance would make me sad? But tell not me, I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise.
Believe me, no. I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted, nor to one place. Nor is my whole estate upon the fortunes of this present year. Therefore my merchandise makes me not sad.
Why, then you are in
Oh,
love.
fire.
Oh, not in love, neither. Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry. And 'twere as easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. Now, by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange fellows in her time. Some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper, and others of such vinegar aspect, they'll not show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear the jest be laughable. Here comes Bassanio, your most noble kinsman. Gratiano and Lorenzo. Fare you well. We'll leave you now with better company.
I should have stayed till I'd made you merry, if worthier friends had not prevented me.
But your worth is very dear in my regard. I take it your own business calls on you, and you embrace the occasion to depart.
Good morrow, my good lord.
Good signors, both when shall we laugh? Say when. You grow exceeding strange. Must it be so?
We'll make our leisures to attend on yours.
My lord Bassanio, since you found Antonio, we too will leave you. But at dinner time, I pray you, have in mind where we must meet.
I will not fail you.
You look not well, Signor Antonio. With too much respect upon the world. They lose it that do buy it with much care. Believe me, you are marvelously changed.
I hold the world but as the world, Gratiano. The stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one.
Well, let me play the fool.
What is
With
he
mirth
saying?
and laughter let old wrinkles
What is
come.
his dialogue?
He says that
States that every man's
he wanted to switch the point that all the words is changed.
And all of us are, all of us have a role to. So this is similar on similar lines where he's saying that the world is a stage, yeah, and we are all actors, and mine is a sad.
And let my liver rather heat with wine than my heart cool with mortifying groans. Why should a man whose blood is warm within sit like his grandsire, cut in alabaster, sleep when he wakes and creep into the jaundice by being peevish? I tell thee what, Antonio, I love thee, and it is my love that speaks. There are a sort of men whose visages do cream and mantle like a standing pond, and do a wilful stillness entertain, with purpose to be dressed in an opinion of wisdom, gravity, profound conceit. As who should say, I am Sir Oracle, and when I ope my lips, let no dog bark. Oh, my Antonio, I do know of these that therefore only are reputed wise for saying nothing. But I'm very sure if they should speak, would almost damn those ears which, hearing them, will call their brothers fools. I'll tell thee more of this another time. But fish not with this melancholy bait, for this fool's gudgeon, this opinion. Come, good Lorenzo, fare you well a while. I'll end my exhortation after dinner.
Well, we will leave you then till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Gratiano never lets me speak.
Keep me company but 2 years more, thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue. Well, farewell, I'll grow a talker for this gear. Oh, thanks, faith. For silence is only commendable in a neat's tongue dried and a maid not vendible.
Is that anything now? Oh, Gratiano speaks an infinite deal of nothing more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You'll seek all day ere you'll find them, and when you have them, they're not worth the search.
But fish not with...
अब क्या होने वाला है next?
Antonio asked why. So you have the statue plant.
They leave, and then he asks him, what is it that's troubling you? And then what does Bassanio tell? Yes, he is in love with Portia and he doesn't have money. He means to
With
say,
this melancholy bait, for this fool's gudgeon, this opinion. Come, good Lorenzo, fare you well a while. I'll end my exhortation after dinner.
Well, we will leave you then till dinner time. I must be one of these same dumb wise men, for Gratiano never lets me speak.
Keep me company but 2 years more, thou shalt not know the sound of thine own tongue.
he's very talkative.
Farewell, I'll grow a talker for this gear. Oh, thanks, faith. For silence is only commendable in a neat's tongue dried and a maid not vendible.
Is that anything now? Oh, Gratiano speaks an infinite deal of nothing more than any man in all Venice. His reasons are as 2 grains of wheat hid in 2 bushels of chaff. You shall seek all day ere you'll find.
That is what he's saying is like a grain of wheat hidden in 2 bushels of chaff.
They are so hard to find and verify them.
Yes, means what he talks such a lot. And the main thing of what he's talking, you won't understand. It's like in if you have a haystack, like there's a saying like finding a needle in a haystack. एक needle hay में किधर से मिलने वाला है? So in a similar way, he says that it is like finding a grain of wheat in a bushel of chaff.
Find them, and when you have them.
So we'll continue later. Take your break part, go bring water, drink and keep one over there only. Right, chalo. 5 minutes and no washrooms after I have come. जिसको जाना है पहले ही जाके आए। पानी में नहीं लगेगा। ये को क्या करना? आपने बड़ी? क्या? अरे नहीं, उसके तो शादी कौन हमारा? The skin what are और on the road कितना एक्सप्लेन करता है single
Imagine also by after एक बड़ा हाथ stack. Also by school बचपन से वही पढ़ते हैं ना.
डॉक्टर इन्होंने कैसे नहीं किया क्या बोला था
ग्रेन्स का दिमाग काट देता है.
लाइक
It's like what? मतलब बहुत रेयर रहता है ऐसे लोग.
कुछ भी
मतलब when you get it this of no user
क्यों कितना बोलता है तो ऐसे मुद्दे पे नहीं बोलता
मतलब वो ऐसे बोलता है ना कि रेयर मतलब इस टाइम में बहुत
उन्हें का खराब हुआ रेयर समथिंग डिफरेंट
एक बिल्डिंग तो फाइंड तो हार्ड टू फाइंड क्या आज मैं मॉनिटर से मतलब वो ये गैस लाना सीखने के लिए बोल रहा हूँ तो and well will be a taxi then with the war पर ये तो माननी नहीं रहा था हमारा फिजिक्स पीरियड खड़ा होता दोनों से लाया बाद में मेरे पीरियड में इसलिए कि सारे लोगों की बातें कहाँ पे होती है वेनिस का हाँ वो देख रहा है वीडियो देख के समझा उसके लेकर मैंने उसकी बुक लिखी थी उसमें अभी चॉप डोरिंग है डोरिंग है मैंने वही सुना नहीं वो चलने की बुक्स अच्छी बुक्स होगी मैंने उठाकर पढ़ना शुरू किया it turns out that the characters are homosexual they're homosexual okay yeah and then yeah and the way he explained it इतने अच्छे थे I doubted that how does he know ये ऐसा होता है ऐसे फील होता है so I searched upon it it turns out the customer himself is homosexual hi you search he's gay literally उसने किया क्या मेरे उसने कुछ तो दूसरा निकाल लिया ये सोचेस फिर मेरा मैंने किया जैसे
Where will do well?
मैंगो दिखा मैंगो और मैंगो बोला रीराइट करो फ्रेश पेज तो मैं वही करता हूँ तभी करता हूँ मैंने देखा फिर मैंने आधा ब्रेक मेरा उसमें ही गया पूरा
चलो ठीक है
I know right
now you want to continue seeing this or should I start with art 2?
I'm started that too. How we completed with Act 2?
I'll do one thing. I'll take this to Act 2 scene 1. In the scene 2 is not there. That Bobo and those that Lancelot are not there.
Just like
Bobo and Lancelot, the second one.
What do you like to read the book? Which
I like non-fiction usually.
Which authors?
Not not specific.
Like
I read ones. I mean, nowadays or I hardly read. I'm more into writing things. But no, one of my poems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very interesting.
No, one of those poems, no, that is there in the 10th standard Tamil Nadu State Board textbook. Yeah. I'll show you someday when there is time. There's a PDF. It's there in that PDF of the entire book. So it's there published.
What kind of a poem was it?
That was on women. The power of a
Feminism.
woman. So the name was I Am Every Woman. I am every woman.
Oh, so it's an objective poem.
It's about how strong a woman is, the sacrifices that she does.
Subjective. Subjective.
Yeah. Hello, we'll continue on. So now we are on. We'll take it to the part where this person comes. Prince of Morocco. Act 2, scene 1 is that. I don't know. Scene 1 is that. No, you will understand now. Which is this now? Where is Prince of Morocco? कौन सा पार्ट है ये तो जा रही है एक बार होगा हाँ तो one okay little bit but this might wait
Would not change this hoop. But a huge feeder. Snails slow in profit, and he sleeps by day more than the wildcat. Drones hive not with me, and therefore I part with him. And part with him to one that I would have him help to waste his borrowed.
But this is where he's going and she's going to us.
Go in. Perhaps I will return immediately.
He's Shiloh.
Do as I bid you. Shut doors after you. Fast bind, fast find. Proverb never stale in thrifty mind.
Farewell. And if my fortune be not crossed, I have a father, you a daughter, lost.
This is Prince of Morocco. Why is she right now? And where is Dania? Where is Dania? Where is she right? Okay, see now, this is Prince of Morocco.
Mislike me not for my complexion, the shadowed livery of the burnished sun, to whom I am a neighbor and near bred. Bring me the fairest creature northward born, where Phoebus' fire scarce thaws the icicles, and let us make incision for your love, to prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine.
What is he saying now? Dislike me not for my complexion. He's dark.
Don't dislike me.
Okay. He's dark. He's from Morocco, Africa. So he's dark. So he says, don't dislike me because of my dark complexion, because of my skin color. And get anybody who's fair. Okay, some European also, and you will see that my blood is redder than his.
I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine hath feared the valiant. By my love, I swear, the best regarded virgins of our clime have loved it too. I would not.
All the girls also like. He's saying, I would not ever change my complexion for anything. I'm proud of my complexion. I'm a very. He's showing that he's very valiant and he's very brave. He's saying, I wouldn't change my complexion for anything unless it is for you, for posh.
Not change this, who, except to steal your thoughts, my gentle queen.
In terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing.
But she's saying, I am not going to get affected by the color. And anyways, what is she saying? The lottery of my destiny, that I am not going to be able to choose whom I want to marry. It depends on the casket. My destiny is based on this lottery. On that condition.
But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit to yield myself his wife, who wins me by that means, I told you, your self-renowned prince then stood as fair as any comer I have looked on yet for my affection.
Even for that, I thank you. By this scimitar that slew the Sophie and the Persian prince, that won 3 fields of Sultan Solomon, I would not change the...
That sword that he has on the side. So he's saying, I'm swearing by this scimitar that I have killed that Sophie and Prince of Persia 3 times and all that in war. Yes, he's showing how brave he is. Bila wo line?
Yes, ma'am.
This, who, except to steal your thoughts, my gentle queen.
In terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit to yield myself his wife, who wins me by that means, I told you, your self-renowned prince then stood as fair as any comer I have looked on yet for my affection.
Even for that, I thank you. By this scimitar that slew the Sophie and the Persian prince, that won 3 fields of Sultan Solomon, I would outstare the sternest eyes that look, outbrave the heart most daring on the earth, pluck the young sucking cub from the she-bear, yet mock the lion when he roar for prey.
I'm so brave, I can fly. Won this. And he's saying that I won this. Kya photo gaya? So he's saying that I won this 3 battles against, who was that? Prince of
Persian prince.
Persian prince. So I slew the Sophie prince, I killed the Persian prince, and 3 wars I won with Sultan Solomon. Then he's saying that I am so strong, and he talks about pluck the young sucking cubs from the she-bear. A she-bear is not going to leave her, let anyone touch her cubs. So it's so dangerous at that time. So he's saying, I'm so brave, I can even do this. And also mock the lion when he roars for prey. When the lion is roaring for prey means he's hungry. So he's most dangerous at that time. So he's saying, I can even do that. I can even mock the lion at that time.
To win thee, lady.
You must take your chance, and either not attempt to choose at all, or swear before you choose if you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterwards in way of marriage, therefore be advised.
What is this?
No.
Never to talk to lady afterwards in way of marriage. So what was this? Because that condition, no, that her father had put, that whoever selects the right casket will get married. But who does not select, who selects the wrong casket, he will never get married for the rest of his life to anybody.
Will not. Come, bring me unto my chance.
Go, make your choice.
The first of gold, which this inscription bear. Who chooseth me shall...
He's in scene 1, this is not there, so leave it. They have connected in, and then the act 2 is not there in this. So we'll go to the textbook. It's the act 1.
It's so much faster.
This is scene 1 of
It's faster after that.
Let it. That was unusual.
Why is the lead? Why not? Why is the lead? Why not gold?
That's how the order is chosen, because usually in gold is something very obvious, so people think, oh, this is gold. So he wanted some smart or maybe some person who's not quickly to be her picture. But nowadays it's obvious that people are keeping gold and keeping lead. That's why they choose lead. No, but
don't they know? Means after someone choose gold, then don't others know that it will be not in gold and not in silver?
No one knows, who has chosen what. These people who are coming, they don't know each other.
Then if they say, if they share that they have to gold and they are not there, they will separate.
How? What did you say?
Told someone, so Morocco told someone that he is told gold and it is not there in gold. Then try and silver.
And this was years back. They cannot communicate, and all the big people have already come. And they don't know each other, they don't talk to each other. So they won't know, even Basario didn't know. Okay, so. Open? Open. No, she is not open. It's over 21. It's for strong forward. Okay, no, this is what you're supposed to do, right? Okay. One. Act 2, scene 1. We are starting now. Okay, so first, flourished cornets enter the Prince of Morocco. A tawny moor all in white and 3 or 4 followers. वो है तुम लोग को same? Okay, read that introductory part. Read the book.
It is the first scene where lottery of cascade is talked about in detail. A Moroccan prince, one of Portia's suitors, comes to Belmont. He is vainly proud of himself, believing that he is extremely attractive to women. If he chooses the correct cascade, Portia will have to marry him. Hence, the idea of marriage across racial, religious, and social barriers to introduced.
Okay, so now Morocco says, mislike me not for my complexion, the shadowed livery of the burnished sun. So here in this part, what does he say? That don't dislike me for my tan, for my dark complexion. The shadowed livery of the burnished sun, to whom I am a neighbor and near bred. Means I have been brought up in Africa. So my color is like that, so don't judge me by my complexion. Bring me the fairest feature northward born. Northward means In the north, where it's extremely cold, where Phoebus's fire scare thaws the icicles, where it's very cold and there is ice, where it's snowing. So there you'll have fair people, no? So get me someone from there. And let us make incision for your love. Let us cut. My script on this. Idealist. That is closed, no? That's not sharing anything. So I get distracted seeing myself over. And she was looking better now. So and let us make incision. So let us cut, yes, ourselves for your love to prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine. Okay, whose blood is reddest, whose or mine? क्या बोलता है वो? हाँ, मोरक्को क्या बोलता है? किसका या मोरक्को का? Who is he comparing his blood with? वो बोलता है सबसे गोरा पर्सन फ्रॉम द नॉर्थ टू ब्रिंग और उसके साथ कंपेयर करो. माय ब्लड इज व्हाट आर यू डूइंग?
Taking of brave notes, have reddest blood. I was thinking about writing it down.
What is written there?
Repository won't believe that the brave have reddest blood, while the cowards blood is clean.
So what? The brave is reddest. So my blood is redder than his. I am more brave than him. To prove whose blood is reddest, his or mine, I tell thee, lady, this aspect of mine hath feared the valiant. By my love, I swear, the best regarded virgins of our clime have loved it too. So what is he saying here? That my appearance has frightened even the bravest of men. Had this aspect of mine had feared the valiant. Valiant is brave. So even the brave have been scared of me. By my love, I swear, the best regarded virgins of our clime have loved it too. That even my appearance has been loved and regarded by the virgins of my land, okay, of my country. I would not change this hue. Hue means color. I would not change this color, except to steal your thoughts, my gentle queen. Only if it was to get your love, then I would have changed my color, otherwise no. Then Portia. In terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eyes. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit to yield myself, his wife who wins me, by that means I told you, yourself renowned prince, then stood as fair as any corner I have looked on yet for my affection. So what is she saying now? इसमें तुम लोग को वो देखना है. There is, I told you about that link charts, no? Maybe that will type over there. Merchant of Venice, Act 2, Scene 1, translation. Oh, I know. Act 1, Act 2. Act 2. Arey, it's okay. She can't see both the things at the same time. Scene 1. 1, translation. Translation. अब इसमें next इसको stop share करना पड़ेगा ना now again. Stop video. What to do now?
HD camera. HD camera.
Okay. So this part, yeah, this is where we are, no? So Portia says, in terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eye. See here where the color is the same color, you have the translation of that. Okay. So in terms of choice, I am not solely led by nice direction of a maiden's eye. In terms of my choosing a husband, I care about more than looks. Okay, looks does not matter to me. Besides, okay, like he's saying, no, don't dislike me because of my complexion. So she says that, don't worry, it doesn't make any difference to me whether you are you are fair or you are dark. Besides, the lottery of my destiny bars me the right of voluntary choosing. Voluntary choosing means I can myself not take any decision. But if my father had not scanted me and hedged me by his wit to yield myself, his wife who wins me by that means, I told you. So she says, but if my father hadn't robbed me of that right, as I described to you, you would be as good a potential husband in my eyes, renowned prince, as anyone else. Okay, so you yourself, renowned prince, then stood as fair as any comer. Comer means anyone who is coming to marry me. And this Prince of Morocco is the fifth person. No, in your previous Act 1, there is a mention of Prince of Morocco coming. So he's the fifth person. So after this, there was another Aragon who came, and then Basani. So she's saying that you are as much good a potential as anyone else. Okay. So yourself, renowned prince, then stood as fair as any comer I have looked on yet for my affection. समझा क्या बोला? हाँ. If you're not understanding anything, you tell now only. तेरे को समझा ठीक से? बोल, explain कर. No, you tell me now. इस बारे में पोर्शिया क्या बोल रही है उसको? Tell in your own words. What is Portia telling him?
Okay, sir, you
And what is she talking about when she says father had not scanted by means of lottery? Tell him, I'm not sure of him only. Cool. Ranveer, तू बोल, because your language will learn. देखो नहीं समझा ये.
Not Portia is talking that she doesn't care about his skin
अभी तो
complexion.
सुनो वो क्या बोल रही है.
वही तो बोला है.
क्या वही तो बोल.
आगे सुनना.
आगे भी बोल रही है.
And because it's her marriage is going to be decided by the condition by which is
condition of the lottery, based on the who selects the right casket.
And she said that you are a good husband, you'll be a good husband.
Yeah.
As any other.
Yeah. Yeah, you are as capable as anyone else, but I cannot decide anything, and if you're dark also, it doesn't make any difference to me, but I am bound by my father's will. मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती हूँ उसके बारे में. समझा ना? Morocco. हाँ यार नहीं समझा कुछ इसमें. Okay, even for that I thank you. Therefore, I pray you lead me to the caskets to try my fortune. Thank you for that compliment, because she spoke good about him, that you are as good as anyone else. So therefore, I beg you to lead me to the caskets. I wanted to select the casket now. Then he's saying by this scimitar, वो video देखा ना हम लोग ने. So by this scimitar that slew the Sophie and a Persian prince that won 3 fields of Sultan Solomon. So now he's talking about his bravery. So he's saying, by this sword with which I killed the leader of Persia and a Persian prince, and with which I won 3 battles against Sultan Solomon, that this same scimitar I used and I have won so many battles. So by this scimitar, I swear, means I take my promise by this scimitar, I would outstare the sternest eyes that look, outbrave the heart most daring on the earth, pluck the young sucking cubs from the she-bear, yeah, mock the lion when he roars the prey to win the lady. By this scimitar, I promise that to win you, what all I will do. So what all I will do, I would outstare the sternest eyes. I swear that I would stare down at the sternest eyes that look. Sternest means the boldest, even if it is intimidating, even if it is scary. Even if it is scary, I will still outstare him. I will be brave for you. Okay. I will outstare this, outbrave the heart most daring on the earth. Be braver than the most daring man on the earth. Huh? What I would do, I would outstare the sternest eyes. Huh? One thing. Second, what is he saying? Outbrave the heart, most daring heart. Huh? So outbrave the most daring heart. Then on the earth. Then third, what is he saying? Pluck the young sucking cubs from the she-bear. I would steal the bear cubs from a suckling bear mother. So I would pluck the young sucking cubs from she-bear. Means it is something so dangerous to do. The bear is going to kill him, but still I will do that also. Yeah. Mock the lion when he roars for prey. Third thing, or fourth thing, what is he saying? Mock the lion when he roars for prey. When he roars. So when he roars for prey, prey means food. Huh? So when he is, which means when the lion is hungry, he can kill me also, but at such a time also I am ready to go and mock at him. Even mock a lion. All these things I'm ready to do. Okay, to win you. To roaring at his prey, all to win you. But alas, the while, so here it is to win the lady. But alas, the while, if Hercules and Lichas play at dice, which the better man, the greater throw may turn fortune from the weaker hand. So here what is he saying? But alas, alas means he's saying it's something that is not good. Huh? So what is he saying? Alas, this is what I am doing now is not driven by valor and by bravery and by strength. It is driven by luck. Correct? मेरा luck होगा तो मुझे मिलेगा. यहाँ पे मैं कोई war तो नहीं fight कर रहा हूँ. मैं वो casket select करने वाला तो मेरे नसीब में होगा तो मेरे को मिलेगा. So that's why he's saying that alas the while, if Hercules and Lichas play at dice. Okay, Hercules, here, see here, there will be something. Greek mythology here. See. The famous Greek hero, that is Hercules, was recognizable for wearing the skin of a Nemean lion which he killed. So he was a very strong and bold and brave person. So he's saying if Hercules and his servant, Lichas is Hercules' servant. Who is Lichas?
Yes.
Lichas, he is Hercules' servant. So he is saying if Hercules and his servant Lichas had to play a game of, pay attention now, what you're doing over there? Play a game of dice to decide the better man, the weaker man might win by luck. That side I'm reading, but alas, all the while, if Hercules and Lichas play at dice, which is the better man, the greater throw, may turn fortune from the weaker hand. So here he means that it's just like a game of dice. The weaker one is this, and the stronger one is Hercules. But if luck favors him, then he will win. So is Alcides beaten by, Alcides is another name for Hercules only. Okay, so is Alcides beaten by his page. And so that is here. So great Hercules is beaten by his own servant. So he is the servant. And he is also the page. Page means that only the assistant. Servant. So Hercules will be beaten by his own servant in this case. And so may I, blind fortune leading me, miss that which one unworthier may attain and die with grieving. So there is that beaten by his own servant, and so may I lose you to a less worthy man because of blind luck. If that happened, I would die of grief. Because if it was a war, I am very brave. I can do this, right? But here it is not about luck. It is not about war. It's all about luck. And so just like Lichas, who is Hercules' servant, can win in that way, it is quite possible that I may lose. Had it been a war, I would have won. I'm very strong. But here it is not a war. Yeah. Now it's not a war. If I lose, then I'm blind luck, right? It's luck. So in that case, if that happened, then I would die of grief. Samjha itna tak? Then
Die with what?
Sadness. What did she say? Grief is sadness.
Outbrave the most daring.
Outbrave the most daring heart. Outstare the sternest eyes. So like that you might get a question, what all does Hercules say that he can do for Portia? So these are the 4 things. Outstare the sternest. What did I say? Hercules. Morocco. That might happen sometimes when I'm some other name only I think. So outstare the sternest eyes, outbrave the most daring heart, pluck the young sucking cups from she-bear, and mock the lion when he roars for prey. These are the 4 things that he said that I can do for you. Then, Portia, you must take your chance and either not attempt to choose at all. Either you try your luck or don't attempt at all. Or swear before you choose. If you choose wrong, never to speak to lady afterward in way of marriage. Therefore, we advise that you be sure of what you want to do. If you are going ahead with the choosing of the casket and you choose wrong, you are never going to speak to any lady for marriage for the rest of your life. So think and decide properly whether you want to go ahead. Morocco says, nor will not come, bring me unto my chance. I promise, come on, bring me to the casket. So he's promising, yes, I will follow the orders. Then Morocco, Portia, forward, just take a little down. So So Portia said, first forward to the temple. After dinner, your hazard shall be made. So she says, first let's go to the temple and then we will have dinner. After that, you can try your luck. Immediately nahi karte, pehle temple, फिर dinner, and then we do the thing. Now, Morocco says, good fortune then, to make me blessed or cursed among men. May I have good luck then. Either I'll be a blessed or a cursed man. If I select the wrong casket, then I am cursed, because for the rest of my life I am not going to be able to marry. And if I select the right casket, then I will be Portia. Cornets, trumpets play and exit. Okay, so all of them, Prince of Morocco, Portia, Nerissa, all of them and their attendants. Scene 2 भी करना है, you'll have it, no? Yes. समझा अभी scene 2, scene 1? ये तो here this is Lancelot. Lancelot the clown. Now what is happening here? ये सब क्या है? Lancelot go, and Lancelot is that.
And Bobo is saying half right, but as he's growing older, he's almost reached his own side.
Yeah. Lancelot is Shylock.
So he makes the spelling errors. Makes those errors. He says it
By talking. Yeah. So here in this part, what is happening? He's thinking, he's saying, my conscience tell me this. Then it's like he's torn between his two minds, the good mind and the bad mind, the conscience and the devil. So what is the conscience telling him? No, don't leave. This initial part, he's thinking of all that to himself. So what is his conscience telling him? Nahi, ye job mat chodo. Because you are supposed to be loyal, you're supposed to be faithful. Whereas what is the devil saying? Go leave, he's not treating you well, just get out of this place. So, or you'll become you will become a Jew, you will become like him only. This Lancelot is a Christian. So he says,
Actually, he wants to work with Bassanio.
He wants to work with Bassanio. So then what happens later? His father comes, he jokes with him, and he doesn't say, he gives him a different route.
Both of them sit together. He says that.
Yeah, and there's one part where he says that your beard is more longer than my horse's tail. So that time actually he is touching his head, the back of his head. Okay, that is not given in this. But when he touches, it's not actually his beard. He can't see anything. So he's actually touching the back of his head, which has long hair. So, I read it that way.
Seen that Dobbin's tails go backward. I'm sure he had more than of his tail.
Yeah.
The other half of the face were last.
Right. So that was actually not the beard, that was actually the head that he was touching. And then afterwards, what happens? They go to Bassanio. They try speaking to Bassanio. And both of them they're not being direct. So then Bassanio says that you tell me straight away. And when they say that, yes, I want to work with you, he says that, yes, even Shylock spoke to me about you, about Lancelot, which means even Shylock may not be wanting Lancelot to work with him. So then he says, okay. And his father has got a basket of doves. He's got a dish in which they made doves. Okay. So he says that don't give it to Shylock. Then when they go to meet Bassanio, he gives him that basket. Okay, and then what? He takes him in his care, and then he tells those people with liveries. What's the meaning of the word liveries there? Get him the best liveries.
It so happens that Bassanio and their privilege. Or is privilege to Blenheim.
So liveries are what? Liveries is uniform. So he says get him a better livery than the others, which means his status is going to be better than the others. So even Lancelot feels welcomed and feels wanted over there. Anyone want to sit there? Okay, so we are pulling the way to give him a halter. Yeah, he's saying give him a halter. ठीक है, we then go ahead. Here then next part you have Graciano. Graciano, Bassanio is going to go to Belmont. For what? Portia. So Graciano wants to come with Bassanio. And Graciano is like, he has no culture in him. So Bassanio is worried now that if you come with me, you will insult yourself, wo to hai hi. But even my name will get spoiled, which I don't want. He wants to create a good impression about himself. So then he says, okay, in that case, you have to promise to me that you will behave well. So Graciano, he act a gentleman. He'll behave like a gentleman. And then Graciano also said, yes, I will do that. Yes. But then he said that at least today, let me do whatever I want. At least for just tonight's dinner. Yes. And Bassanio was like, yes, I will. Punish. चलो तो आता है सब. Talk with respect. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Scene 3. Scene 2 का. ये समझा है. Okay. Here, enter Lancelot the clown alone. Lancelot. Certainly my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master. But yeah, what are you doing? ध्यान दे रहे हैं ना? हाँ, कुछ समझा नहीं तो stop me, okay? हाँ. So certainly my conscience will serve me to run from this Jew, my master. The fiend. Fiend is who? The devil. Yes, the devil. Yes, the enemy. A fiend actually means enemy. So he's saying the fiend is at mine elbow and tempts me, saying to me, go, Lancelot, go, good Lancelot, or good go, or good Lancelot, go. Use your legs and start, run away. So what is the fiend telling him? Hago, run. Okay, and what is the conscience telling him? No, wait, yes. Huh? Conscience is saying, stay. Be loyal. Stay. Be loyal. Okay. So this part I'm not reading, is the same one. My conscience says, no, take heed, honest Lancelot, take heed, honest Bobo, or as aforesaid, honest Lancelot Bobo, do not run, scorn running with thy heels. So, but my conscience says, no, wait here, honest Lancelot, wait here, honest Bobo, or it says, honest Lancelot Bobo, don't run away, don't you dare run away. So conscience is saying, stay, don't run. Fiend is saying, run. The devil is saying, run. Well, my conscience hanging about the neck of my heart says very wisely to me, my honest friend Lancelot, फिर ऊपर में ये एक सीधा पॉकेट आएगा. ऐसा बैठा है, afterwards you don't tell me I didn't understand. तो ऐसा सिर उधर करके क्यों बैठा है? इधर बैठ, उधर खड़ी हूँ क्या? We then go to sleep also, I would come to know. You don't pay attention, your best friend will also not listen. क्या बोल रहे हैं अभी बोल? क्या बोल रहे हैं? क्या बोल रहे हैं एक्टर सिंह को? देख के मत बोल, ऐसे बोल क्या? हाँ? क्या उसके बारे में? क्या कहाँ है डेविल? किधर है डेविल? शाइलॉक के घर पे है ना? हाँ. What is the use then? Go home and क्यों time waste कर रहे हो? मैं भी क्यों अपना time waste कर रही हूँ इतना एक डिटेल में समझा के तुम लोगों को? उसका खुद का mind. Now what to do with these people? See, can you off the fan? AC रहने दो. बस AC बंद कर दो, सांस. हम इसको दो. So yes. truth. Even at that time, I was like, no, that man didn't explain properly.
नहीं वो ना
तो अब तू मेरे लिए
नहीं,
क्या
तभी ध्यान
तू
दे रहा
खुद
था।
ध्यान नहीं दे रहा
नहीं,
है
तभी
और
दे
फिर
रहा
तो बोलेगा मेरे को कुछ समझा ही नहीं है I didn't explain मैम मतलब किसी और मैम को बोलेगा
आपने
that
पढ़ा
man
उसका तो बोला कि अभी तो एग्जाम
वो मुझे कैसे पता अभी लेकिन तू ध्यान नहीं दे रहा है ना ये भी नहीं ये बोल रहे हैं हाँ वो शायरों के घर पे था
ये ध्यान दे कि किसको नहीं आ रहा
तो तू उसको हेल्प कर ध्यान देने में तू खुद ही नहीं ध्यान देगा तो वो कैसे देगा तू बोलेगा उसको ध्यान देगा तू खुद ऐसा बैठेगा हाँ डोंट डू दैट okay so so then what were we doing well my conscience hanging about the neck of my heart says very wisely to me next time onwards ना तुम लोग दोनों ये साइड बैठो क्योंकि हम लोग यहाँ पे यूज ये कर रहे हैं तुम लोग पीछे अपना क्या सो रहा है वो बोलता है कुछ भी so you all sit this side she is also doing what but she at least I know I can count that that I know she'll be listening at least she won't say that yes the devil was in Shylock's house so where was the devil कुठे होता कोणाच्या डोक्यात होता शायलॉकच्या नाही लॉन्सलॉटच्या आणि कॉन्शियन्स कोणाचा डोका कॉन्शियन्स कोणाचा डोका बोलतोय आपण लॉन्सलॉटच्या Lancelot's doka. Lancelot's head is it's like a war going on in both in his head. So hanging about the neck of my heart says very wisely to me, my honest friend Lancelot, being an honest man's son, or rather an honest woman's son, for indeed my father did something smack. Oh, this part is not there in your book. ये smack का part is not there because there are some parts which they have cut, okay, like which have a different kind of meaning. So that this father did something smack is there? No, I think smack is. See line 15.
There is
no line. That smack they have not directly given it. So what is that now? So वो क्या है that being he's saying being an honest man's son or rather an honest woman's son, because his father was unfaithful. Okay, वो part तुम लोग इसमें cut किया. So that's why he's saying. No, not an honest man's son, but indeed at least an honest woman's son. Okay, for indeed my father did something smack, something rude.
That line is not there.
That line is not there. So, but then uska actual meaning ye hai. Why he's saying an honest man or rather an honest son or something. Yes, so that's why he doesn't want to take his name where honesty is concerned. So he had a kind of taste. Well, my conscience says, Lancelot, budge not. Budge, says the fiend. Budge not, says my conscience. So, budge means, so conscience is saying, budge.
Not.
Budge, not. Budge means, move.
Fiend says budge.
Budge, fiend is saying, budge. Budge, move out. Finally, he listens to the fiend. So he is saying, budge and budge not, says my conscience. Conscience, I say, you counsel well. Fiend, say I, you counsel well. To be ruled by my conscience, I should stay with the Jew, my master, who, God bless the mark, is a kind of devil. So he's saying, if I am ruled by my conscience, if I listen to my conscience, what am I going to do? I will stay and I will not budge. I will be with Shylock, who is a devil. So he is saying, see this part, to be ruled by my conscience, I should stay with the Jew, my master, who, God bless the mark, is a kind of a devil. Here, see, if I listen to my conscience, I'd stay here with my master, the Jew, who is a kind of devil himself. Scroll. Then, and to run away from the Jew, I should be ruled by the fiend whose saving your reverence is the devil himself. Certainly, the Jew is the very devil incarnation. Incarnation means rebirth. And if I run away from the Jew, I'd be listening to the devil. Correct? If he's running away, because the devil is saying, run. So if I run away, I would be listening to the devil, who is the devil himself. But then again, the Jew is certainly the devil's very reincarnation. He is his rebirth, his incarnation. And in my conscience is but a kind of hard conscience to offer to counsel me to stay with the Jew. The fiend gives more friendly counsel. I will run, fiend. My heels are at your command. I will run. So he's saying my conscience is being rather difficult in advising me to stay. So who is winning now, the conscience or the fiend? Is the fiend who's winning. So
Fiend is the part of construct.
it's like you have two minds, no, always. Like
One is always the positive against.
It's like you are tempted to copy sometime. You can see. And one mind will tell you, नहीं copy मत करो, copy करना अच्छी बात नहीं है. एक और mind बोलेगा, अरे सामने दिख ही तो रहा है ना, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ? So that is the other mind. So like that, one is your conscience and the other is the fiend. So he says that my conscience is being rather difficult in advising me to stay with the Jew. The devil is giving more friendly advice. I will run away, devil. My feet are at your command. I will run away.
In the Shylock is described as again.
Yes. Now Gobo has come with a basket. Where it was. So where is he? Now Gobo and Lancelot have not met each other for many years. He's not been that caring type of father. So they don't. He's not met him for a very long time, and now he's come to meet him with a basket, thinking that I'll give it to Shiloh. Now Gobo. Master, young man, I pray you, which is the way to Master Jews? Show me the way to the Jew's house. Who Jew now? Shylock's house. Lancelot says, aside. Aside means they tell himself, he tells himself, oh heavens, this is my true begotten father, who being more than sand blind, high gravel blind, knows me not. I will try confusions with him. He is as blind as a bat. He is sand blind. He is high gravel blind. Means he is totally almost blind. And he doesn't recognize me. So I will play some tricks. Then Gopo says, Master, young gentleman, I pray you, which is the way to Master Jews? Lancelot says, so now he confuses him, go to the right, go to the left, go straight, so he's not going to understand anything. He says, turn up on your right hand at the next turning, but at the next turning of all on your left, marry, at the very next turn of no hand, but turn of no hand means go straight, but turn down indirectly to the Jew's house. So then he says at the next intersection means the turn, junction. Take a right, then take a left, then take at the next intersection, keep going straight. You will be at the Jew's house. So he's giving all directions to confuse him. That's his plan. Then Gobo says, by God's sondies, 'twill be a hard way to hit. Can you tell me whether one Lancelot that dwell with him or no? By God, it will be a hard way for me to find that. So do you know if someone named Lancelot who lives with him is still there with him. Lancelot that dwells with him means Lancelot who stays with Shylock. Is he still staying with him? Then Lancelot says, talk you of young master Lancelot? Then he tells aside, mark me now. Now will I raise the waters. Talk you of young master Lancelot? So he is adding this master Lancelot over there. He's saying, are you talking about master Lancelot? Now I will raise the waters means I'll increase the suspense, I'll increase the confusions.
To himself.
Yes, add fuel to those. To himself, he says. Then are you talking about master Lancelot? Then Gobbo says, no master, sir, but a poor man's son. His father, though I say it is an honest, exceeding poor man, and God be thanked to live well, to live. Not a master, sir, because he referred to himself as Master Lancelot. He's saying not a master, sir, but a poor man's son. His father, though, is an honest, if very poor man, and thank God is in good health. Okay, no master, sir, but a poor man's son. He is not a master, he is the son of a poor man. I am a poor man. His father is honest, though he is honest, but he is exceedingly poor. And God be thanked, he is in good health. Okay, thankfully, like when we say, with God's grace. So with God's grace, he is in good health. Then Lancelot says, well, let his father be what he will. We talk of young master Lancelot. Well, whatever his father is like, we are talking about young master Lancelot. So you see, these lines are showing that there is not too much of connection between the two. They're not so close to each other. They haven't met each other for so long. Then Gobbo says, your worship's friend and Lancelot, sir. But yes, but just Lancelot, not master, sir. Ye wahi communication. Then Lancelot, but I pray you, ergo, old man, ergo, I beseech you. Talk you of young master Lancelot. So, but I ask you, ergo, see what is there. Yeah. Ergo means therefore in Latin. So Lancelot is pretending to speak Latin to seem educated, though he is using the Latin word incorrectly. Okay. So what is he saying? Ergo, he is just pretending to speak in Latin to show that I am a very educated person.
Lancelot obviously does not know the significance of the word
to confuse the old man. So he's saying, I beseech you, I beg you, are you talking about young Master Lancelot? Of Lancelot, ain't please your mastership? Gobbo says, I am speaking of someone simply called Lancelot. Then Lancelot says, ergo, अरे यार कितना है? ये काफी चलो we'll have to end it. We'll continue next time. But you're sleepy or what?